Hello everyone, this is the Great Rick here, back from this grave of Smash Ultimate in work, to bring you a video about Fire Emblem. However, this is not the Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem video I promised, but rather one on Genealogy of the Holy War. That old video is still coming, but it's gonna be a work in progress since I lost interest in doing a long scripted review for a while. And honestly, I'd rather work on something much shorter. So this is something I've been thinking about for a while. Something that has kind of been speculated since Fire Emblem Echoes Chalice of Valencia came out. That being a Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake, and things that could come with it. The reason this is so prevalent to think about right now is, well, mainly to do with heroes. First off is that there's been a shit ton of love for Jugdral in Fire Emblem Heroes, starting in April with the World of Thracia banner, where Leif and Nana, alongside Finn, were added in. Next, we got only a month later, a Gen 2 of Fire Emblem 4 banner, with Ares, Leon, and Ishtar added in. Finally, in September, we got Doorway to Destiny, with Sylvia, Quan, and Lune, with Ethlin as the Tempest Trial reward. This is also not counting, say, Sias, who is Thracia, but still counts, and Julius, who were Grand Hero battles. But even then, there has not been more than like one or two banners at a time where a Jugdral unit wasn't in it as a focus, whether it be for Tempest Trials or Skill Fodder banners. Oh, also Jamka. Forget about Jamka for a second, like most people do. But going past Fire Emblem Heroes, let's look at one trailer we got for Fire Emblem Three Houses. Well, the only one. Please release another trailer, Intelligent Systems. We're fucking begging you. We need it. We need it badly. As you can see with that game, it showed each unit as a small squadron that you use for combat. Something that most fans I saw compared to how they believe Jugdral units really were. Which, I mean, is pretty believable. Also, there's the brand new Reinhardt card in Fire Emblem Cypher, which from what I've read is really good. But either way, everything's kind of pointing to a remake of Fire Emblem 4. So join me as I talk about 10 changes or things I want in a Fire Emblem 4 remake. Joined by footage of a Fire Emblem 4 randomizer, because I need something in the background. Also, there will be a special little gift for you guys at the end. For now, though, let's begin. Number 10. Increase infantry movement. Okay, so this is one of those that is really fucking obvious, and for good reason. In Fire Emblem 4, the maps are a 50 by 50 square tile length, minimum. That is about 2,500 spaces if I'm correct. And I'm not the best at math, so my math might be bad, but that still is pretty fucking huge. Now, not all of these spots are traversable, but there's still miles that these units must travel, which, because they have lower movement range, cavalry makes them slow as fuck and fall behind, while cavalry will get to the action quicker. Usually they have 2 or 3 less movement than the cavalry in the most movement-heavy game in the series. Now, they shouldn't have the same movement as calves. In fact, that's stupid, since then why are cavaliers on horses if they don't provide better movement? Rather, I think we need to increase the movement of infantry by 1 point, like non-armored gets 7 move and armored gets 6 move, then it goes to 8 and 7 upon promotion. It would certainly help units like Ira, who have amazing combat, at least for me, but because they are not on horses, they are easily leaving the dust, especially on a low turn count run. That is the least of the worries with some units, hence why I put this so low on the list. Number 9. Buffing Arden. This may seem like a weird one, but Arden is a meme in the community, mostly because, let's be honest, he sucks. He is literally one of the worst units in all of Fire Emblem. Unless you count his Heroes version, which, well, Heroes loves to make bad units into gods and gods into shit, like, just look at Seth from Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. But he could not suck, or just suck a bit less, with these things to help. First is to give him more events. He already has a couple of funny events that give him stuff, yet one barely helps and the other comes right at endgame. Instead, imagine if he had a few stat-boosting convos with friends like Alec, Noish, Ira, and Sigurd. Like, for example, in Chapter 3 of the game, Sigurd gives his thanks to Arden for sticking with him, And as thinks he gets a brave sword, which would mix perfectly with the pursuit ring he gets. Or with Alec, he makes fun of Arden's slowness, and with that Arden tries to prove him wrong with a race that he loses, yet gains speed and skill and or other stats in the process. Or with Ira, he gets training to become faster in battle after he asks her to train him. All of this could help, despite his class. Oh, also maybe a magic sword if him and Taltiu are lovers, given that he apparently starts in the OG game with 120 points with her for whatever reason. That's probably because she joined so late, but anyway. All of these are good options, and could help this Armor Knight become better than the trash he is now. But speaking of conversations, number 8, a new detailed support system. What do I mean by this? Well, Fire Emblem 4 has a system similar to supports in later games, though without the ranks and bonuses, and it'll take a bit to explain. You see, in this game, lovers have a 0 to 500 point system that when you reach 500 they become lovers, and each turn, a man and woman that stand next to each other get 5 points per turn, excluding a specific person. But anyway, what if for romantic supports, they utilize this for a ton of conversations, like, for example, say every 50 points, lovers need to talk to each other for the ranks to progress, yet much like Awakening, a lover is not chosen until you make 2 characters talk at 500 points. This would be to avoid the bullshit where you pair up Sylvia with Lune when you want to get Aranis with Lune, or other mistakes players like myself end up having make. Now, with this to make them not super broken, their support ranks do not give bonuses until you reach, say, 350 points. And unlike regular supports, they would give extra bonuses. After all, lovers are closer than friends most of the time, or at least one would assume, unless you just fuck your best friend. Oh, also, for the lovers, have a screen that you can look at where you see how far you are with each person, much like a dating sim in a way. Yes, I know, people will make even more waifu emblem jokes, but at least say, unlike Fates, these characters are more than just jerk-off bait. But that's for another time. Now, what about event combos that give you 100 or so love points, or outright make you lovers? Well, with that you can use that augury, that's in the castles, and go and check out possible combos you missed out on. And this would be at any castle, not just the main castle. That way you can go and spend some time looking over these convos. With that, it is unintrusive, not forcing long convos one after the other immediately. Though for friend supports, it is going to not be like this. Rather, for friends or colleagues, they get the typical CB&A supports, since they do not need much of an establishment for friendship, unlike lovers. Rather, it could be friendly camaraderie, say between Lex and Azel. And it could change depending on if they have high love points with girls. Say for example, Lex and Ira are at 300 points, and Azel and Taltiu at the same. They could go instead do a convo where they tease each other about their crushes. These are just simple ideas I have for supports though, and nothing too in-depth. Number 7. The chassis and her relationships, particularly with Finn. This is one of my biggest personal issues with Fire Emblem 4 and Jugdral as a whole. Thresher in particular tries to make the couple of Finn and the chassis canon, but it honestly is one of my biggest issues with the story. For as much as I love the games, the two of them don't have chemistry, yet it is confirmed that Nana is Finn's daughter, canonically, which for me doesn't sit too well. So instead, why not have convos as soon as the chassis is recruited? Like he could be seen as a noble knight in her eyes as much as the standard she's been raised with. With that, when it comes to their relationship, perhaps they have a faster growing support too. Instead of 5 points per turn, they get 10, making it easier to grow love points. Or better yet, here's another idea. A conversation in Chapter 3 to make them instant lovers. This point is something that I'm going to take straight out of the Mitsuki Usawa manga, based on the game, but it is a rather good scene and should be added in. In the manga, when Eldigan dies, the chassis goes into a depression, using the Earth Sword he gave her to try to kill herself. Yet because of its nature, only ends up giving the life force it wants back to her. Finn tries to console her in her grief, convince her that this isn't what her brother would want. After talking her down and convincing her to stop, they confess their love. It is a rather nice moment that honestly would solidify their love for each other and make it more believable. Yet there is another elephant in the room. In the lore of Fire Emblem 4, it is established that the chassis has a child with both the knight Finn and the mercenary Beowulf. Yet in the base game, she's only able to have one lover, so in this case, why not utilize a hidden system? but make it more active in a special case for the chassis. In FE4 there's a hidden system called the jealousy system, which can rarely fuck a person up for lovers, making, say, Sylvia and Loon fall in love as I mentioned previously. But here's how I would make it work. Starting as soon as Chapter 4, when Finn leaves, Beowulf will start having conversations with her if Finn is her lover, and with that try to make a move. Beowulf to me seems like the kind of guy that plays himself as a suave and somewhat charming guy, if not a bit of a flirt. With that he sees how lonely she gets, and with that begins to comfort her in Finn's absence. Slowly through Chapter 4 and 5 she starts to fall for him, and with that she gets her lover the lover status changed from Finn to Beowulf. Yet in the game's code she gets both, making her, as controversial as this may be, a multi-love marriage. Now of course, here is where, with my limited aka jack fucking shit, knowledge of programming would come in. With this specific case, Finn and Beowulf would be allocated to a specific child in Gen 2. In Finn's case, his stats would affect Nana, while Beowulf would affect Diarmid's stats. But that's just a random idea I have that I have no idea how to really make happen. So, that's really just more of a pipe dream, but something that I would love to have happen. Number 6. No. New cast members. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this the top 10 things you want for an FE4 remake? Well, what I want for them is to not do something. That something would be no new characters. I mean it. I do not want new characters to be added into the story, since the story of genealogy already has a tight cast. It is about as unneeded as those fucking quizzes you see on your Facebook where it's like, based on your pizza toppings, we can guess your favorite Avenger. Or some shit like that, like, get that the fuck out of my feed, please, because that shit is the worst. And I see that everywhere. Remember those, what would your favorite 90s character look like now things popping in 2015 and 2016? Imagine that, but if they throw this random element that, like, you know, was like, guessing your favorite character based on what type of porn you watch, or what type of language you use, or what type of sleeping blanket do you use. Just the most irrelevant bullshit, and I'm tired of seeing on my fucking wall. I want you to go the fuck away. Stop it, Facebook. I cleared my fucking history and they still show up, so what the fuck do I need to do, Facebook, to get them off my Please excuse me as I go through this mental breakdown. They are completely normal, they happen often, and they are nothing to be alarmed about. I've just been off my meds for the last decade, so yes, this is nothing to worry about. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Huh? Where was I? Oh, yeah, talking about what shouldn't be in a Fire Emblem 4 remake. With new characters, they would just have a hard time being placed, and it would really fuck up the lore. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could place characters like Salem from Thracia into the game if they think we really need a playable dark magic character, though that would probably cause all sorts of problems in the story. Also, they do not make up characters for Sigurd to have admirers, because it would not work like last time. Though, Faye just felt like she was there to include Yandere, and while people are mixed on her, with me personally liking her, yet at the same time she just created a pointless addition to the harem that Alm already has from Gaiden, with her just having an obsession with Alm and not much more. We do not need that for Sigurd, because it would just not sit right with me, especially because the story already canonically has him with Deidre. But yeah, honestly, there's really no room for new and additional characters in a Fire Emblem 4 remake. So honestly, don't even try, please. Number 5. Nerfing and buffing weapons. In Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War and previous Kaga games, axes sucked ass. They were heavy fucking weapons with low hit, and with that were basically fucked against swords. Something that is heavily accentuated by the weapon triangle in the game. Oh, another thing is that they are heavy as hell. 18 is the fucking weight for an iron axe. That is compared to the swords, which have only 6. Like, what the fuck, game? They can be the heaviest weapon in the game, but to have that much weight is insane. But want to know what else is insane? Fire magic. In genealogy, fire magic has a fucking 12 for weight. 12 fucking weight. Compared to the shit that wind magic has, which is a max of 7. While fire has the better of the weapon triangle against those two, it is still shit. So with that, we need to reduce the weight for axes by like 4. Same with fire spells. We either need to do that or increase the weight of wind to make wind less broken. Also nerf Forseti just to be a fair bit. I mean, in Gen 1 it is a good weapon, though it comes late. But in Gen 2, oh boy, immediate Forseti is a broken blessing. If you pair Loon up with Teltiu and get Arthur, you found the fucking win button. Seriously, you give him the first chapter of the second generation and you win. He basically comes with a tome that gives 20 speed. Yeah, no way you're hitting him. Also bargain ring to make the cost around it trivial. So yeah, that is as abrupt as I am making it sound, something I just want to have happen. Number 4, DLC that expands the lore. Yes, I think this game should have DLC. Now, I know Fire Emblem price-wise has apparently had a sketchy past with its DLC, despite the fact that most DLC altogether costs more than the fucking game it's a part of. Even nowadays, you fucking... Okay, deep breaths. I'm about to get off track, so bring it back, bring it back. Anyway, Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia did do a fair bit of overpricing like DLC tends to do, and they could tone it down. However, they did a big thing right. Want to know what that is? The Rise of the Deliverance DLC. That was some of the best shit in the game, and while it did cost money for story stuff, it was optional and not essential to the game. Just a little extra lore for those that wanted it. And the game still stood solid without that stuff, but what if genealogy did a few things? I got a few ideas I wanted to share. First idea I had was the Valhalla Knights Academy days for Sigurd, Quan, and Eldigan, done in 3 parts. The first part starts with them as all cadets, with them taking out simple bandits with starter weapons, like for example Sigurd gets an iron sword, and you get the idea. In this DLC chapter, starting second turn, Arvis joins you, as it is established in the early days. They are not really that good, though he comes with a saving grace to help the group out, the Fall of Flame. And I mean, unlike the others, he would already have the weapons since he's already the head of his house at his age. A big thing with this would be that in between each part, perhaps we see how Eldigan is handed the Mistletoe, show the developing relationship of Quan and Eflin, and the sibling relationship of Eldigan and Lachases. Another thing we could do is all sorts of diverse missions, like an example a kill boss chapter, or a fucking defense chapter. Imagine that in a game that is basically 30 rounds of capture the flag. But there's another idea I have, one that takes place between Gen 1 and Gen 2. This DLC takes place between chapters 5 and 6. In this story, young Oife and Shannon start in the woods a little while after the end of chapter 5. They had been staying in the woods as they traveled towards Isaac, having been stuck with the children. With that, they realize that Sigurd is probably not coming back, having been killed by Arvis. It is a late night in the woods as they have set up camp, the babies crying as they feel the cold night's wind, with only 2 other children having to take care of them. With that, soldiers who recognize Shannon appear and try to attack him. With that, you have a chapter where you have to defend the babies for 10 turns. Around maybe turn 5, Adine arrives though, equipped with a wind tome, a physics staff, and a heal. After that, this turns into a route chapter where you kill the remaining soldiers. When the chapter is over, Adine reveals that Sigurd and the others are dead or not around, causing Shannon to feel like he failed his Aunt Ira, and Oife feeling himself shaken. I know this sounds a bit sad, but that part of the story is really fucking sad, let's be fair. At least for me. Though, let's just move on to the next one so that I don't have to keep feeling sad. Number 3, full voice acting. Now this should be an obvious one. Ever since Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia, people have loved the voice acting and have wanted more of it. It especially helps since we have most of the voice cast already in Fire Emblem Heroes, all of whom could easily reprise their roles. Do not lie to me, you would love to hear Xander Movius as Arvis, especially for the Valhalla Massacre. Imagine hearing Grant George, voice of Sigurd, and Xander Mobius acting out that scene. Grant already has shown his talent with Clive in Fire Emblem Echoes, so it isn't out of the realm of possibility. Also, despite having a large cast, it would totally be possible. I mean, if Xenoblade Chronicles 2, of all piles of shit, can have a fully voiced cast, how hard could it be for this game? All I am saying is that it's easy to do, Intelligent Systems, so show off that first part of your name, and do it. If yours isn't any indication, then the voice cast will be fucking great. Number 2, no Premonition. Okay, this probably goes without saying, but premonitions need to go and fucking die. When Awakening had one, it was fine. It was new and something Fire Emblem had never done before. Then Fates came along and did it, and it was, well, Fates has a myriad of problems, and one of them is straight up stealing from Awakening, so they only did the Premonition because, well, Awakening did the Premonition. Then we have Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and the beginning where we see Alm stabbed through Celica, which I was a bit confused on seeing. It literally just spoiled a new little addition they added to the game. Like, it was a brand new scene they made for the game. As for Warriors, it just felt pointless. Then Book 3 of Heroes, if you call that opening a Premonition, well, it's just been overdone. So all I want to say is that this game doesn't need that for one big reason. That big reason is being, where would they put it? After all, every twist in this game is fucking huge. If they had Sigurd have a fucking vision of, like, the events of Chapter 5, no new player would be shocked when they happen. Show Self in Gen 2 fighting Julius, that'd be just as pointless and spoil the ending. Again, there's no real place to put a Premonition, and it would just look lazy and annoy people. So I say leave that shit out. Number 1. Give us something that is like Mila's turn wheel from Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. So I think everyone would love if Fire Emblem from now on had this mechanic. It would make classic mode much easier to deal with in the future for sure, same with casual mode. Hell, I could go over how both would work right now, and I fucking will. Okay, so for casual mode, I would make it like how, I think this is how it worked in Fire Emblem Echoes for the dungeons. From what I understand, if you died in casual mode, you would need to leave the dungeon to get those units back, and for the rest of the dungeon, unless you used a revive shrine, you didn't get them back inside the dungeon. Here, it would be a similar case. However, they are gone until you conquer a castle. But there will be a downside as well. These units will come back with the level they fell at, making them a little less usable than they were before. Though given the nature of the game, it wouldn't be hard to catch a unit up. Yet, for the turn wheel, I would call it the Tactician's Map. In this game, how it would work is that you have, at max, 8 uses of the turn wheel that will replenish after you conquer a castle. However, there's a downside. That downside being, after you conquer a castle, everything you've done previously is set in stone. So if you're playing Classic and a unit dies, that would honestly suck, but it's incentive to play smarter too. But that's not the only thing I would do with the map. Another thing that I would do with the Tactician's Map is that it'll have a voice to accompany it. For example, Gen 1 the Tactician will be Oife, who when you mess up and need to use a rewind will scold you. He would say stuff like, "Sir, you've got to have a better plan than that," or "Let's not do that again, okay?" Generally much kinder stuff. Loon in Gen 2, however, will be an asshole. Lines I've thought out are, "You're an idiot, aren't you?" Or my favorite I came up with, "This is what led to your father's death." Just to be as much of a dick as possible. Now this is all what I want for a Fire Emblem Genealogy, the Holy War remake. I would love to hear what you guys all want, though I know some people will make my eyes roll by saying they want a trading system, which I will get into in my Fire Emblem 4 video. But I mean, if that's what you want, no one will stop you. Also, yes, there will still be a Fire Emblem 3 video coming, and I'll still make an FE4 video. This is just shit I wanted to talk about right off the bat. Hope you had a happy holidays, and have a happy new year, and I'll see you all in 2019. This is the Great Riek, and thank you for watching. Oh, hello. Yeah, that wasn't actually the end. I kind of wanted to do an unscripted thing and tell you the plans scheduled that I already have for this channel in the next couple of months. So, with that, I have a couple of videos planned right off the bat. Sorry, my dog was jumping on me from behind, and and also you can hear him in the background. Sorry about that, but anyway, yeah. So my plans for the beginning of this year are, well, I'm gonna branch away just a bit from Fire Emblem content. Like, you can only do so much just Fire Emblem stuff before you get bored, and it's just like, I have other interests. Like, you guys have seen, anyone that's followed my channel for a while knows that I like Final Fantasy, knows that I like stuff like Persona. But another series that I love is Power Rangers. So I figured this year I'd take the opportunity to rewatch the original Power Rangers series and watch the series it was based on, Super Sentai. I'm going to be doing 5 episodes a week on that, or gonna watch 5 episodes a week and then at the end of the week do my comparison of the first 5 episodes of each show. See which ones I think are better, which episodes I think are worse. Compare the openings for the first review of the season, and well, those will be a bit more unscripted. They'll have a lot less swearing, because honestly, no one wants to hear like stuff like, "Can you believe this dumb fuck?" when you're talking about a kids show. Like, no, you just sound like an immature shitbrain, you know? But in between that, I've got plans to review either a movie or an indie game. Possibly might go with a game that is infamous that I want to talk about for a while, but honestly might be kind of controversial given what I have to say on it. And oh yeah, and I will say that I'm gonna start working as soon as tomorrow on the video for Fire Emblem 3 Mystery of the Emblem. But yeah, I am so sorry that I've been away for a while, and I think anyone that's still watching, all like 10 of you probably, because YouTube's got this fucked up algorithm, and I've only had 35 fucking subs, so... And also, I'm gonna start incorporating this webcam in, so... yeah, you'll see a lot more of my face, so... I'm gonna try to shave this shit off, this shit off, this shit, and, well, I'm gonna try to make myself as presentable to the camera as possible. So, this has been The Great Riek. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in 2019.